All right, guys, how are you doing? One thing that's been on my mind lately is faith. Faith in yourself, faith in God, faith in just faith, right? We all have belief systems, and everyone believes in their own belief systems. That's what makes it a belief system. But I don't know if you come to realize this in your life or not, but beliefs are plastic. What one person believes, another person might not. And whether we like that person or whether we find a lot of similar values in that person determines if we like them or not. We base our likes and our dislikes based off of the people that we surround ourselves with. And we only surround ourselves with people that we like. Do you go around surrounding yourself with a bunch of people you don't like? All right. The point is that I have always had this, I was in the military, and when I got out, they taught us how to adapt to civilian life. Now, that training didn't do very well, probably because I didn't pay much attention to it. There was no way of getting out of it. Every single person had to take that route, right? Every single person had to take that class. And somehow I managed to find my way of getting around it, right? Because that's what I've always done. I've always had an abstract mind, and I've always done things my own way. I've never been one to go down the path that everyone else is going down. I've never been one to follow others. I've always been kind of on my own journey, right? Now, the reason for that is, one, because I've always had this abstract thinking. When you ask 5 people a question, 4 of them will come up with the same answer, and 1 person will come up with a different answer. That 1 person is always me, because I think outside the box. I used to think it was a weakness when I was younger because I couldn't think like everyone else. And then I realized when nobody else could solve problems, I could. And it's because my abstract thinking allows me to think outside the box, which is not the normal route, right? There's a verse, I think it's Matthew 7, maybe 13 and 14. Basically, it talks about the road less traveled, right? Actually, give me a second. Yep, here it is right there. Okay, so Matthew 7, 13, 14. Enter through the narrow gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leads to destruction, and many enter through it. But small is the gate and narrow the road that leads to life, and only a few find it. If you're following the herd, if you're following what everyone else is saying, what everyone else is doing, you're going to go down the same path as everyone else. Now think to yourself for a second. Do you want to be where everyone else is at? Or do you want to be where you're at? Or where the people that you desire to be? Or the life that you want to live? It doesn't matter what it is. You've got to realize that the general herd, people are doing one thing. And if you're going to succeed, you need to do the opposite of what everyone else is doing, right? Or follow the certain few that are actually succeeding in their own ways. The reason why I bring this up is because when I talk to men, there's a lack of faith, there's a lack of confidence, there's a lack of certainty. They don't know what to do and where to go. And part of being a man is being a leader. Part of that masculinity is being able to lead the way, knowing that where you're going is going to succeed, to be able to have faith in that. Where does that faith come from? I grew up religious, I grew up Southern Baptist, and I always had a strong amount of faith. I always knew that no matter what, God was going to lead me through the darkness. And to tell you the truth, I never really had that much darkness. I just confidently, almost in ignorance, blissful ignorance, went through and did what I needed to do or what I wanted to do, telling people, it's all right, I've got a purpose. God's got me, right? And somehow, some way, I always managed to survive. At a certain point, I got down on my knees and I prayed for wisdom, and God blessed me with that wisdom. And my cup got turned all the way upside down and poured out. And then it got turned right back side up, and then it started getting filled up. And I've mentioned this to you before, but from that point, I've started going up and filling up other people's cups. But I lost touch of something because I understood a truth. And it is that God doesn't exist, not like we know him. Have you ever seen God? Or heard God? You saw him up on the stage one time and he was telling you, oh, this is how you should do things. In the history of man, even the Bible, you got the Old Testament, it goes up to a certain point, and then you've got the New Testament, and then Jesus Christ shows up, and Jesus Christ has a testimony. He's got something he's trying to tell you. He steps up and he's a leader, even though it's against the church, even though it's against the masses. He says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. And he starts to lead us into a new understanding, a new perspective. Now, from that, people have managed to conglomerate and have grouped up, and now people follow what they think Christ's words are. And for the general purpose, or for the general, whatever, people are being led into truth, right? But there's also a lot of mistruth in there. Jesus Christ is someone that you need to know on a personal basis. It's not what the Bible tells you or what your religion tells you or what your pastor tells you or what the next door neighbor tells you or what everyone else that follows, because you guys all believe in something, but there's a lot that you disagree with, right? So it comes from the heart. And it comes from, really, I'm not here to get religious on you, but from inviting that spirit of Christ into you, so that way you can start to define what truth is for yourself, not what other people tell you. And this is part of being a masculine, confident leader. It's why Christians have succeeded in today's day and age for thousands of years, right? But we're in a new age. We're in a new time. And it's time for us to step up. It's time for you to step up. Right? So what does that mean for you? What are you lacking in your life? What do you want? What do you not have? At a certain point, you need to be able to have faith in knowing what it is that you want for tomorrow, and then go after it. Don't sit here and try to play the game like everyone else does. Don't try to do everything else that everybody else does, because it's going to lead you along the same path, right? You need to go down the road that's hard. You need to go down the road that's less traveled, right? And once you start doing that, you'll start to find more and more success. And I guarantee you that if you do it in God's name, in God's power, you're going to find so much success and so many blessings that it's going to lead you to a whole new you. It's going to lead you to a transformation. Your ego, your body is going to die, and something new is going to be born, a new spirit, a new soul. And from that new spirit and that new soul, you might find something more empowering than you could have ever believed in, a purpose, a passion. And once you find that purpose and once you find that passion, you can then start to share it with other people. And that will be the road less traveled. That will be your purpose, your passion, and that will give you meaning. That will give you confidence. That will give you certainty. That will give you faith to know that you're on the right path. So if you don't know what to do tomorrow, we're starting on a brand new year, 2021. If you don't know what to do this year, if you've been cycling the same old thoughts and the same old patterns and the same old behaviors, if you're the same person this year that you were last year, or even if you're already on your own path of self-growth, your own path of enlightenment, your own path of growth, then now, right here, right now is the time to start to embrace that new reality, to be able to go through there and start to have the confidence and the certainty that you need by embracing your passion and your purpose. If that's something that you want to know more of, just give me a text, just write me a message, do something, right? Know that I'm here to help you, and realize that as leaders, we all need two things, right? We need to be able to have someone that can lead us, someone to guide us, our own mentor, right? We need to be able to take action with what that guide or that mentor, that leadership tells us. And then we need to be able to take that truth and then spread it across to everyone else and create a following of genuineness, of truth, of light. And if that's something that resonates with you, go ahead and type in the chat box below, say amen or light. Just let me know that you went ahead and watched this all the way to the end. And if that does hit you somewhere personally, because there's going to be many more of these videos that will hit you on a personal level, then go ahead and let me know, because I know that you're my brother or sister, and we're in this together. Love you. Thanks for listening and watching. Bye.